Welcome everybody to episode number 5 of the Collector Cast. I am back here today with the one and only Mike. How's it going, mate? Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, that's about it. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. We have some interesting things coming up for us literally in for you 2 days of recording this, which is the London Card Show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be joining you on Sunday vending for the first time, which is going to be very interesting. I don't know how well that will go for either of us, but it'd be interesting.
Hopefully really well.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll sell and make a crap ton of money and get some good trades and good deals and,
that is the plan.
And have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. So today we're going to be covering stuff leading up to the card show, like what are you looking at picking up? What is hot right now, kind of in the Pokemon trading market, as it were, because it is very different. Mm-hmm. When we look at the singles and the slabs compared to what's going on in the sealed product. Of course, like sealed product, you kind of get them in shows, but not really that much.
A lot less, yeah.
Yeah, compared to like on eBay is usually the main place you would find a lot of, pretty much all sealed product these days, because stores don't have anything really, especially when it comes to ETBs and booster boxes. So we're going to be getting into that as well. And another topic we'll be getting into today is we're going to be talking specifically about reprints in Destiny Rivals and restocks. We've had restocks recently, and stores, and I wouldn't say distributors, but a lot of stores and people that have access to distribution are kind of bottlenecking and manipulating the market value. So we'll be getting into that as well. But first, card shows. What's your plan this weekend?
So, lots of work to do tomorrow, which is going to be Friday as recording this episode. So, obviously, card prices are moving way too fast at the moment. It's incredibly hard to keep up with everything. And I think as a vendor, you need to be super on top of that. So, tomorrow afternoon, it's just going to reprice literally every card we have for sale, which is going to be super fun and not boring at all. But it has to be done. I'd rather have current market prices than there are a couple of cards I've noticed have gone down. So to be as competitive as possible with my vending neighbors, we have to make sure we've got correct prices on everything. We're offering good deals, and then we roughly know market value on the sort of cards we're expecting to take in as well. I don't want to be looking up cards every 5 seconds of the day. So I need to know what all the old arts from Sword and Shield are doing, the big hits from Skyline Violet, Prismatic. And then obviously the vintage stuff, we're going to have to definitely comp day of, because again, who knows what's going to happen with that. But reprice all my binders today. I think singles from binders are generally quite easy to go through and just sort out whenever during the week before the show, because ultimately a card might go up by a couple of pounds, but I'm not really too bothered if it's a binder card. If it's a £5 card that's now £6, well, whatever, you're going to get a better deal out of my binders. But
so, like, what value cards would go in a binder? Like, do you have like a set limit? So, like, if it's under a certain price, I'll throw in a binder.
Not really. So, we used to do pretty much only slabs, and then it came to my realization that binder cards actually move quite fast. We had one show where we did the majority of our sales were all binder cards, and from that moment, I was like, okay, we need to get more stuff in a binder, more stuff out. Make it easier for people to find the stuff they're looking for. So we've got 4 binders. I've got sort of e-readers, vintage, all in one binder.
Yep.
There's no sort of set limit to what price can be in the binder. I think generally we kept it below £60.
Okay.
And if there was anything super specific that we thought someone is going to a show to buy that card, it's not in the binder. So then they'll be in the display cases, because that's generally where you're going to look for your slightly more pricey e-readers and the vintage cards is in display cases.
Yep.
We got a binder with celebration cards in it, a binder with promos in it, and then a binder with just mixed English, Japanese, ARs, IRs, a little bit of Chinese in the back.
Okay.
And then a slab binder as well, with just a bunch of generic, cheaper slabs.
Cool.
Just want to get more on the table.
I was going to say, so how, you got 2 tables?
2 tables, yeah.
Right. So what is like the configuration of those 2 tables? Like, what have you got compared to like display cases, to obviously the binders and so on and so forth?
So we're going to have 4 display cases.
Wow. Okay.
Horizontally across the back of the table, I think is probably the way we're going to do it. I think they're 80 like 80 centimeters wide, like long. So they're pretty decent ones. I've got some risers for my cases coming direct from overnight from America. Should hopefully be arriving tomorrow morning.
Is that the ones where they like lift up at an angle, like a triangle angle?
Yeah. To angle them.
Yeah, okay.
You can fit so many more slabs and singles in the case. And then obviously, if anybody wants to look at a card, they're super easy to pull out the singles out of the case, whereas before it would just be a massive hassle if someone wanted to look at 7 cards and then didn't buy any of them. You would then spend the next 15 minutes trying to put the cards back and it not looking like complete garbage. So fingers crossed they arrive tomorrow. I've got the tracking for it. They were shipped yesterday and they're supposed to be with me before 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So hopefully they arrive and then they'll just sort of, it will make the display look significantly nicer. And then in front of all the display cases is enough room for all of our binders. So we have 0 sealed.
No sealed. Okay.
None at all.
So how many, in these new display cases, how many, so let's say you put all slabs in there.
Yep.
Do you put them side by side or do you have some like overlapping each other to try and fit as many as you can in?
No overlap whatsoever on the slabs.
You can see everything.
They'll be overlapped. They'll be overlapped like this. I don't know if you can actually see.
Yeah.
So they'll be overlapped like that, but then there'll be space in between and they'll be angled as well. So we have to see the name of the card and like all the relevant information on the slab plus the art. So I think they should look pretty good. And then we've got risers for 2 of the cases. And then the other 2 cases will probably just be slightly lower end slabs and lower end singles. But stuff that I think people will be actively looking for at the shows.
So that goes to the next one really. What type of Pokemon, what type of cards do you think right now are people looking out for? So if you were like, right, which ones am I going to prioritize putting in them? What do you think people are going for at the moment?
That's a tough question. A few weeks ago, I would have been like just any Sword and Shield arts because they were pretty well priced at the time, but now they've all spiked. It's a little bit harder to say that people are actively going to be looking for those sort of cards.
Okay.
I guess in terms of slabs, what I'm expecting to sell this weekend are going to be sort of the mid-era slabs that you don't see every day. I think are going to be the ones that are going to move the fastest. So I'm talking like half ponchos and stuff like that, Pikachu promos, XY stuff, a little bit of vintage maybe. I mean, if someone wants to buy my high-end vintage stuff, I'll be super happy to move that this weekend. Oh, and Gold Stars, how could I forget? Everyone's still massively hyped over Gold Stars for some reason.
So, I mean, recently I've been watching...
pride of place in the case.
Yeah. Recently I've been watching a lot of like vendor POVs, UK ones, right? So obviously a bit different than the US ones.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed is a lot of people, I say customers, but people, going to these card shows, were picking up, I would say, like the majority of their sales was from, I would say, the cheaper lower end of modern era. So whether it be Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, maybe a bit of Sun and Moon. But we're talking like maybe £20 or less. And they were the most popular things that was very fluid and they were selling very, very like in abundance, right? And then you would get some people that would go along and for the slightly higher, more expensive things, they're maybe going towards slabs, that may be £100 or more, or even maybe older vintage, more expensive stuff. Most of those people that were coming over to buy those items were other vendors, right?
Yeah.
So the majority of them were other vendors coming over, doing trades to try and what it was kind of interesting because there was one person I was watching and they stream on Whatnot actually. They're like one of the big ones on Whatnot. And they were saying that the majority of the top end cards, and they were talking about Gold Stars, only really move between vendors. They were like, it's literally vendors trading with other vendors, and you just say the same stock move around the same group of people, and it just shivvies around every so often. And it was, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Whereas like the average person was going along, and they're pulling out £2, £3, £4 cards, and they got like a fat stack of stuff that they want for their binders or their collections and stuff like that. And it was like, this is what I'm making most of my money on, and this is what the volume of sales is from, is the low end stuff. And it was all from the binders. They were like, they started shifting. One guy was like shifting his high end stuff, and he was moving them off the table and kept them in like one of these like really protective cases type things. And only if a vendor would come and be like, by the way, do you have gold stars? Do you have ponchos or whatever? He'd be like, yep. And he would like, get this box out. But what happened is that he was like, he prioritized binders, and he just had like 12 binders, and each binder was labeled with each set. So we had each set of the Scarlet Vine, each one. And it was literally everything from reverse hollows and hollows of each of those sets going all the way through to the SIRs. And he just had them all. And it was so people can just complete their master sets or their collections or whatever it was. And honestly, I mean, this was like a 2-hour video of this POV. And the majority of it was him just constantly going, we're selling this from the binder. And it was just a handful, it's like this huge stack of singles. And then occasionally you might get the odd vendor that kind of turned up like towards the end of the day. And then they're like, do you have any, high-end like tag teams? Or do you have any, older vintage stuff? And it was kind of interesting. I mean, they're not all like that, but I thought that was an interesting one.
It definitely depends on the event. You do definitely get some events where you sell nothing high end and you sell a bunch of £4 cards and you still end up doing $2,500 in sales because you just sold a bunch of £4 cards. It's kind of insane sometimes where all of the small deals do eventually add up.
Yeah.
I think that was a problem we made when we started vending. I was kind of very much against binder cards.
Yeah.
What I wanted to focus on was just all slabs, because slabs are very easy to keep track of pricing, to store and then display. And you know that if you're paying, say, just under £100 for your vending table, if you sell one slab you graded yourself, well, that's most of your fees back on the table. It's very cut and dry, easy to look at and work out where you are for the event and how much money you've made at any given point during the event. Whereas with binder cards, it kind of all just adds up very, very slowly, but also kind of quickly. If people are completing sets at Oxford, we had a guy that spent £70 on binder cards. They were literally just £2-3 binder cards.
Nice.
Because he wanted to complete a set of something, and it was a vintage set, and we just happened to have a binder full of it. So he was just going for his collector app and being like, yep, don't have that one, don't have that one. Just pulling out these £3-4 cards. And it was that one kind of opened my eyes to binders being a little bit better than I thought they would be to move cards. But I also kind of want to just move away from the low end slabs. I'd rather have a case full of complete fire and then just a bunch of binder cards than a bunch of £40, £50 slabs, because they take up too much room.
Yeah, and do they shift easy? Do like the lower value ones shift easy or not?
I think it depends what it is. Sometimes, yeah, and then other times they'll sit around for ages, and then I'll end up sending them in bulk to a one-off streamer.
Yeah,
you at least have those options now. There will always be someone that will buy them from you at around 85% market. So as long as you're getting into them at the right price, then I still don't mind taking the smaller slabs, but
yeah,
I want to try and flip them the same day, so I probably won't even sell them at full market price just to try and get rid of them.
I mean, I managed to offload, literally this week, I've offloaded about 40 slabs, all 8 and 9s.
Nice.
No, really on eBay. Good. I literally just listed the whole lot, bam, I just chucked them all on eBay and on Facebook. One guy on Facebook bought off me 12, a combination of PSA 8s and PSA 9s, all a mixture of English and Japanese. Okay. And I think the average price I got for them was somewhere like £23 a slab.
That's really good then. Yeah.
Which was good because some of them worked. He got a couple a deal, but because he was buying bulk, it worked out great for both of us.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the other lot has been through eBay. I've had people buy ace slabs, a lot of 8s, like pretty cheap. Yeah. I think they were probably maybe around 18 pounds on average for these literally all ace 8s combo of English and Japanese. And these are cards where people just want the artwork, right? They like the ace label. They really want the artwork. Yeah. They don't really care about the grade. They just want a cheap slab.
That is what ASOS going for.
And I kind of feel like in this market right now, a lot of people are not opening up packs as much as they would like, or maybe they used to because of availability and cost. And they're looking at these binders and they're like, look, I need these cards, right? I don't, I want to have these cards in my collection, masters, whatever it is. I haven't been opening up most recent Scarlet Violet sets. Everything's too difficult, it's too expensive, whatever it may be. And, you're just selling a few regular EXs here and there, some full arts. And before you know it, it starts adding up quite nicely, which is, I guess quite good because you kind of offload in, to some extent, chaff, essentially, which...
Yeah, but it's chaff someone wants.
Exactly. That's
fine,
what I mean.
Right?
That's what I mean. And the guy, when I said in the video where he had the reverse hollows and the hollows, I mean, literally, people just classify them as bulk. But people really wanted it, and he just had them at like 50p each, and this person's like scooping them up.
Yeah, we always had, if we had a show release weekend of a new set, and say I just bought a box to T-Gen, I would just take all the reverse hollows with me because you knew that someone would walk up to a vendor and be like, "Oh, have you got any Journey Together bulk?" Like when we did a show that weekend when that came out, and then we sold all of the reverse hollows. They were like £1 each. It's just it's literally free money. Yeah,
it's good. Honestly, I think it's a good thing. Do you think, does Japanese sell great? Or is it mainly English? Or is it a bit both?
It completely depends on the card.
Okay, so let's say, I don't know, Scarlet Violet era.
I can't think of anything I specifically have in Japanese that's been sitting for a long time. So I assume it probably goes just as well as the English stuff goes. But then obviously the Japanese they're always cheaper slabs.
Yeah.
So I guess at a bunch of the shows, when we were only having one table at our shows, they probably never even made it onto the table, which is really bad.
Oh, okay, you just didn't have the room.
That was kind of the main point in having extra tables and buying like a slab binder that holds 60 slabs in it. I can put all of those £40, £50 slabs out, and they can just go in a binder. They can sit on the table. They can sell if they're on the table. If they're in a box, they can't sell.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to decide if the Japanese stuff moves or not for us, to be honest. We have definitely been finding that Ace has been moving less.
Okay, than PSA. Well,
yeah.
I mean, if they keep making blunders like they did with your slabs I saw that you put in the Discord earlier today.
Oh, do you see the Thunderous and the Tornadus?
Yeah, they got the wrong label for each of those promos.
For anyone that's not in
Amazing
Jace's Discord, and obviously you should be in the Discord, great banter in there every day. I saw the cards weren't mine. I saw them on Instagram.
Oh, I thought they were yours.
No, I would have been livid if they were mine.
I thought they were yours.
Fresh off of my Pikachu from 151 Surprise, I luxuried it to Ace next day of the release of the set. They send it back to me 2 days later, and they've misspelled the label. They forgot the R in Surprise. So contacted support. They didn't see the mistake. Couldn't tell what the problem was. Asked me to detail the mistake and send them a picture of it. I'm like, surely you have pictures of the slabs on your end. I shouldn't have to send you a picture. But anyway.
That's a bit weird.
So they agreed to take the card back and reslab it. I said to them, well, why you've got the card? It got a 9 from centering. Can you please double check the centering? Because I believe it is within the 60-40, but it just doesn't look great. So is that possibly the reason why it didn't 10? It came back the other day, and it came back a 9. But this is the most annoying part. On the inside of the slab, there is brown fluff.
Brown fluff?
Yeah, it's just brown fluff on the inside of the slab.
Right.
So I'm just like, first of all, it was RMA'd to you. So surely when it hits QA, after you've fixed the mistake, you would just make sure, surely, that it's just perfect.
Yeah.
You don't want any reason for that one customer that's paid £50, well, £53 plus postage for your service, to have any qualms about using you again. You don't want them to have any reason to be upset with the outcome of this RMA. Yeah. And then it comes back, I open it up, and it's got fluff inside the slab. And I contacted support again, and this was, 3 days ago, heard nothing, which is really annoying because obviously the plan was to sell at London Card Show.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone will buy it in the state it's in.
Because it's got a bit of fluff inside. So Ace
so
is not really doing
anything else.
They're not doing very well then, are they?
Nope. And then obviously the Tornadus and Thunderous. So I saw on Instagram, someone had posted that they just received their Tornadus and Thunderous Pokemon Center ETB promos back from Ace. And they'd put the Tornadus label on the Thunderous and the Thunderous label on the Tornadus. I don't even know how you do that.
No, it looks completely different as well. Not just the name,
both start with
a
T, sure, and no one spotted that. but I saw the picture and I recognized, you could tell there was a problem because the art labels don't match.
Yeah, that's actually, believe it or not, like, but when I saw it, I was like, first thing I saw was, I was like, these cards just don't look right. Before I even like tried to see what the issue was, immediately I was like, this just looks weird. Why does this look so weird? And then I was like, wait a minute, I didn't notice that they were different, as in like they were swapped around. I just knew that I thought the issue was initially that the label was just a completely different design to the card, which I thought was weird. They didn't look like an extended part of the card. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's literally been swapped. So immediately I saw that you would know when it doesn't have a matching with the art. That's the thing that catches your eye to begin with.
Yeah, of course.
It's just so bad. And it went through like multiple people before sending out. That's just...
Yeah, but the funny thing is I sent that to a group of other people and 4 out of the 5 groups I sent it to replied to it saying, yeah, I don't know why they got 9s either, because they're both 9s.
Yeah.
I'm like, how have you missed it? Like...
Yeah.
So maybe it's harder to spot than I'm thinking it is, but I noticed it immediately. Maybe that's just the way my brain works, that if something's supposed to match and it's not matching, my brain immediately picked it up that something was wrong with with the whole situation.
Yeah.
But
that is weird.
Maybe they're the sort of people they need to employ in their QA. They would have spotted things like that, like spelling mistakes.
Yeah.
But
it's just really bad. And I think at the moment, obviously they're getting a huge amount of, submissions, and on top of that, they're hiring new people. So it's like you're getting people that aren't trained enough, qualified enough, experienced enough to really grade these cards or even quality check these cards, and they're trying to get through this huge backlog. So they're just literally trying to grade them get the turnaround done as quick as possible, and it's like the quality is not, it's not only just the quality in the form of that, as in, they misspelled a label, they got the labels mixed around, but it's also like, are they giving them the correct grades? That is the issue, I think more than anything else.
I think that's probably the one thing that I'm probably confident to say that they probably are. I think if you're going to try and speed up your service, the 2 places where you can try and do it is in assembly label printing. Like, they're the easiest ones, just to be like, we can employ more people to print labels. We can employ more people to encase the cards, or we can employ more people in QA.
QA, yeah.
It's the actual grading of the cards that you can't really do too much to speed up. But then also, I don't know where their bottleneck was. Maybe their bottleneck was never grading the cards.
Yeah.
Maybe their bottleneck was either side process of intake and what happens after the card's been assigned a grade.
Yeah.
So it's kind of too hard to tell without any sort of inside knowledge on their specific operating.
Oh yeah, we're just speculating at this point.
But
basically,
you would have hoped that these sort of things would have been picked up at some point.
Yeah, true.
And the thing that annoyed me the most about the Pikachu with the misspelled surprise was that they'd clearly realised their mistake and fixed it on their end before I contacted support, because I saw someone else post one with the correct spelling on it before I got a response from support. So as soon as they realised on their end, I think there were only 3 of them graded. Mm-hmm. You just contact those 3 people. You just email them. You have our contact information.
Yeah.
And say, oh, I'm really sorry. This has happened. This is what we'd like to do to fix it. Please accept our apologies.
Yeah.
If you want it fixed, just send the card back and we'll get it back to you within like 2 working days or whatever.
Mm.
But it's the fact that they didn't even do that kind of made me really angry. And I'm still going to use them, which is the annoying thing, just because the turnaround time's effectively free money to grade some cards. But I'm not happy about it. I've definitely moved the majority of my grading back to PSA, and I'm just going to wait the 4 or 5 months for my cards to come back. I'm just resigned to that fact now. But
yeah, I mean,
that is the world we live in at the moment, and there's nothing you can do about it. So
no, I mean, I'm going to be sending off on Sunday. I'm going to be going and sending off some cards to PSA. I'm going to do 2 submissions, 2 lots of, I think, 25. I think I've also got a 50 card submission with Ace. But it's quite interesting. So a lot of the cards I had initially that was going to grade with Ace, until I got back my recent submission where I got absolutely cooked. And there were definitely some cards which was a little bit questionable. Like, when they're sitting there with loads of perfect 10, like 10, 10, 10, and they'd be like 8 surfaces, and I'm sitting there going 15 cards in a row that all had the exact same grade, which was just like, that's a bit weird. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I can understand again a 9, if there were any other, like a variety, at least a variety of subgrades, but every single subgrade was like, I think it was like 14 cards, literally as their grading number was, and I was going through them, and I was like, oh, 9, 9, 9, 9. I was like, oh my god, like why are these all 9s? And then I'm scanning every single one, and it'd be like 8, 10, 10, 10, 8, 10, 10, 10, and it was this, and I was like, the hell's this? So it was kind of weird, but so I had a stack of 50 cards to send off the A's, and I'm sat there, and I started pulling out more of them one by one, and I'm like, I don't even think I want to send this off the A's. And I'm just there like, no, I don't think I will. And a lot of them start moving over to the PSA pile. And I'm just slowly but surely moving them over. And I'm going, oh, look, this is a slightly highly valuable card. No, this is going over to PSA. This is going over to PSA. And then there were cards which I'm like, you know what? The centering on this is within the 45-55, which I've been using the app. You know, that centering one that you suggested.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been using that. And I'm like, okay, yep, these are in the margins for centering. But I was like, maybe they might have the odd questionable nick in a corner or a little whitening or something like that, and I'm like, PSA great give. I got so many 10s in PSA that have dinks in the corner, edge wear.
Oh really?
God, okay. Oh yeah. I mean, I watched a video the other day.
Not the exact opposite.
I had one. Watched a video the other day, and they graded. It was a mid-era card, and they gave it a 10, and it's got a big juicy chunk missing out in the corner. Yeah, and so I'm sitting there going, whew. So a lot of them are like, okay, well, they're going to move over to PSA, right? Because I'm like, Ace grade really harshly on surface. And I find surface is one of the hardest ones to judge whether or not the card is good. Centering, there's apps, there's a lot easier. You can visually see, oh, that's off center. Do you know what I mean? Centering's quite easy. Edges and corners are quite easy to tell. But
100%.
Surface is the hardest, I find. So for me, I'm like, let's go with PSA. A lot of these higher value cards where, yeah, okay, the PSA margin is definitely a lot better than a 10. Their centering looks pretty good. Boom, they're going over to PSA. There's a couple I've got where I'm like, the centering's off. The centering would be in the 60, potentially within the 60-40 with Ace. But I'm like, but the edges and the corners are not necessarily the best because Ace, again, are harsh on them compared to PSA. So I'm there like, they're going to be up for like being sold at shows as singles. Rather than spending the money to get them graded with Ace, they come back a 9, right? And I'm sat there going, well, I've just wasted money.
Pretty much raw price now,
Yeah. So I might as well just sell the card as is. So a lot of the Ace piles just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So I'm gonna try and see if I can potentially pick up some cards this weekend, or I might try and see if I can pick up some cards. I think I've got another card show I'm going at the end of this end of this month. That I'm looking before my submission needs to be sent off because it needs to be with them, I think, at the beginning of September. So I'm going to go along and have a look as well. There's a local card store near me that sells singles, so I'm going to pop down there and have a look and see if I can find some nice lower end cards that go quite nicely in an Ace label and can sell quite well. And it's the lowest cost submission. So it's costing me like £14-15 a card to grade. Like, it's not that bad, so I don't mind. It's the 80-day wait time is pretty heavy.
Yeah, so that's the thing that I find is hilarious, is the fact that their cheapest rate is what did you say, like £14? Is that including the Ace label?
Yeah, including the Ace label, yeah.
But then for £18 you can have them back in 15 days, like an extra £4 a card. I'm always just spending the extra £4 a card.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I have it back 3 months earlier.
For me, a lot of a lot of the cards I'm sending off are, so these ones are like Japanese ARs, which aren't massively highly valuable, but people like them, they like the artwork. So for me, I'm like, and the thing is I don't need them back right now in the time of this year.
I guess if
I don't
you're
need
not going to actually need them, then
this submission with Ace will be stock for 2026 card shows. So by the time it comes back, it'll probably be about December, which I have no card shows. So for me, it's like, that would be for 2026. So that's where I'm going with that. Whereas the PSA one, I want them back in time for the card show I've got in Cardiff later on this year. So for them, could they be back in time? Maybe. Most likely not, because PSA takes forever in a day. But they might be back.
You can send a couple of them value plus, right?
Possibly, but a part of me is like, do I really want to?
I think for the extra...
How much is it normally?
£10?
£10?
I think it's like an extra tenner. It depends what the card is, and if you if you think there's a genuine chance of it turning, then I sent a big batch. I think my last PSA submission was just shy of like $2,000. I don't know, maybe like 40 cards went value plus.
Yeah.
Oh no, maybe 30 cards went value plus, and then the rest of it all just went bulk. Because I deemed the cards that I was sending value plus to have high enough upside potential that it was worth the risk sending on the higher tier to get them back within the 20 days. And if they come back and say, if I have maybe a 70% 10 rate, it's just worth it. Because I got so many shows coming up that I want the cards that have recently gone up in price. They're cards that I think are going to sell very quickly.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, it's just 100% worth sending them on the higher tiers. And a couple of them might have gotten the upcharge for that tier anyway, if they got a high enough grade.
That is true. Yeah, you got the upcharge as well. Because like I said, I got 2 submissions. I've split them. I've split them basically higher value cards, slightly lower value cards. So the higher value cards is things like Van Gogh Pikachu, Sylveon VMAX from with 2.
Another good one. Yeah,
from Avon Skies. The Hidden Fates promo, the Shiny Charizard V from Champion's Path. You know, things like that, which are, you know, a lot higher value stuff. So for them, would kind of make sense maybe to send value, because a lot of those, if they PSA 10, I would get upcharged.
Yeah, I think then you've also got to take into account the shipping back to you as well, if you're going to be going with third party, because then that'll have an additional shipping cost to ship those ones back to you. So you need to make sure it's worthwhile with the increased price on grading and then again the whatever it's going to be £20 special delivery coming back to you, depending on how many cards you're sending. Obviously, if you're only sending 4 cards value plus, that's an extra £5.
No, I would probably
like quite a big.
I would probably split it in half, so like 20 to 25 cards. I would probably send value plus, and then the rest would just be bulk or whatever.
Yeah, sure. So I think at that point it might be worth doing, but then it depends if you need them back in time.
That's the thing. It depends.
It'd always be nice to have them back.
Yeah, I mean it depends, because I don't know how things are going to go at the Bristol Card Show, which is in September. I've got so for that one, I've got about 50 graded cards, like 50 10s or so to ship between Ace and PSA, and then I've got 2 binders. So I got one that's English, one that's Japanese, and then I have 3 binders. So one English, one Japanese, and then one like very low value English stuff like EXs and full arts and stuff like that. Vs and VMAXs, and then I've got mystery packs and mystery slab bags. So that's basically, and I've only got one table. Because it's putting it all on one table. So I think that's more than enough for one table for my first card show on a Sunday. Right, I don't think it's going to be insanely busy on a Sunday, and it's only one table, so just trying to.
That might be crazy.
Yeah, it could be, but it's like trying to fit it all in. So I'm just there, like, I don't want to end up having too much. So I think that's a good healthy amount to start with. But it's like if I do really well and I shift a lot of the slabs, I'm like, okay, well I got Cardiff at the beginning of December. Yeah. Oh dear, I'm now running low on slabs or whatever, right? So it's one of these things was like, what do I do?
I need slabs. What can you sell me?
Literally, yeah. I'm like, go on, mates rates, mates rates.
No, but I mean, I've done quite a few deals with other vendors where they've just messaged me on Instagram or Facebook, just looking to buy stock. We had that problem after Oxford. We sold too much, and I was kind of worried moving
problems.
Into. I mean, but it is.
Yeah, literally.
We sold most of our slabs that were over 1K.
Damn.
So I was really worried moving into London Card Show that we just wouldn't have good enough stuff to people to want to sell me stuff, because that's the other problem, right? If you go up to a table and they don't have expensive cards, you're probably just going to assume they don't have the cash to buy your cards, and they're gonna prioritize taking their cards to someone that's got, I don't know, like a row of ponchos. Obviously, in the UK, no one has a row of ponchos on their table that they're pricing to sell or pricing reasonably at all. But you will always find those people gravitate towards the larger vendors to sell their more premium cards. And none of the card shows we've done have we ever been offered a Sword and Shield alt art until Oxford. And Oxford, we had a poncho on the table, a bunch of gold stars, and then at that show we were offered Sword and Shield arts for trade and sale. So I'm kind of just like, I'm putting 1 and 1 together and getting 5. I kind of feel as someone that went to card shows, I probably wouldn't even bother offering it to someone if I didn't think there was a reasonable chance that they would offer me a good price on something.
That's fair. No, that's absolutely fair. Yeah. Okay, so basically this weekend, game plan is we'll just try and get some good trades, good deals. We are going to be, you're going to be recording. You're going to be recording it. Yeah. Like I'm doing a little POV. And we're going to see
posts for the Instagram.
Yeah, we can see how that goes. But yeah, it'd be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. The other topic we were going to talk about is stores, distribution, stores, and the market. Okay. Recently, I did a video talking about Decim Rivals, and I was like, look, there's been a restock here in the UK. Small, but there's been a restock of Decim Rivals booster boxes.
Yep.
Someone said to me in Discord, someone from Discord said to me, Jace, have you seen Decim Rivals prices had dipped a little bit? However, it doesn't seem like the restock has hit the market. So I was like, okay, let me have a look. And as I was having a look, I was like, I'm doing a video on this because I think it needs to be talked about. And after I did that video, after I recorded it, came out a couple of days ago, I saw a video regarding the US and they're going to big box retailers instead of distro or cutting back distros and smaller online stores and retailers and going with the big box ones. I'm looking at this Decim Rival stuff and I'm sitting there going, hang on a second. You have booster boxes went up to 260, 280 a box, pushing 300. They then come back down a little bit, but they're still set around 260, right? But I'm seeing cases. And as I'm recording this video, I'm like, wait a minute. There are a crap ton of cases listed on eBay, and the prices vary massively. And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. Why is there all these cases sat there? It's very odd to see that, right? So I'm sitting there going, okay. So I then went and spoke to a guy local to me as a local game store. He doesn't sell online. He just sells locally. He predominantly does like board games, but he also stocks Pokemon and other TCGs. And basically, he got 3 cases of Decim Rivals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Pretty good, right? So 2 of them, he cracked open and was selling the boosters individually. So no one can go in and buy a booster box. And he limited it to 4 packs per person.
Okay, it's going to last a while.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of kids and stuff like that goes into his store and they do a lot of trading in there and all that sort of stuff.
Good business.
Amazing. Yeah. And what made it even more good is he was selling them at £5 a pack.
Okay, good guy.
Good price, right? Really good.
Yep.
The other case, he said, I'm keeping sealed. He was like, I'm not selling it. I'm keeping it sealed. And I was like, all right, why is that? And he's like, I don't know when I'm going to get my next lot of Decim Rivals. And he said, the current market price is so high. I want to give back to my community and help the people local to me and support me. But he said, these will be £1,000 a box real soon. That's his thought. So he was like, I'm sitting on
real
this.
Soon is a stretch.
Yeah. And I said to him, what do you mean by real soon? And he was like, before he thinks anyway, before the end of the next era. So we don't even know when the next era is yet, but that'll be 3 years' time essentially. He's like, I think these will be £1,000 a box. And I'm sitting there going,
that's not like completely unheard of. Evolving skies.
Literally exactly that, right? So I'm sitting there going, in 3 years' time, he thinks they're nearly £300 a box. And in three and a bit years, he thinks they're going to be £1,000 each. And I'm sitting there thinking, in a sealed case, probably right? If you think about it. Because as a rule, they're more of a premium in a sealed case.
Yep.
That was interesting. So I thought, okay. And then I spoke to somebody who does have an online store, and they got 1 case. And they're like, I'm not selling it. I'm keeping it sealed.
Yep.
I was like, oh, usually they sell booster boxes. And they sell it like under market, above retail, but under market, so they might be selling for $220, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But look, they're like, nope, I'm not selling it. I'm keeping it sealed. And I was like, oh, okay. Why? And pretty much the exact same reason.
Yeah.
Then I spoke to the third person who got 2 cases. And again, not a huge amount, but they got 2. They're a small online retailer. and they were like, normally I sell them, I break open the cases and I sell them on a booster box. He said, that's what I did last time I got Destined Rivals in. I'm not going to do it this time because at this moment in time, the less on eBay, the better it is for me. So he's like, if all of us that got this stock, because I mentioned to him that I switched to other people, and he was like, if everybody opened up their cases and put them on eBay, the overall price of Destined Rivals will go down. So he was like, I'm just going to sit there, and it seems like everybody else has the same idea, and I'm just not going to put them on the market because it's going to look like there's less out there and the price will go up. And he's like, I'm happy to help bottleneck it.
I mean, that is a massive problem.
And I'm sitting there
I'm not really too surprised.
He's like, I don't need the money. He's like, I don't need to quickly sell them because I only got a sealed case. He said, back in the day, I used to get quite literally like a pallet load, like hundreds and hundreds of boxes of Paradox Rift or, a Sword and Shield set or whatever it may be. And he's like, I have to because I've spent so much money to get them, I have to offload them as quick as possible. So that's why we were selling them 100, 110 a box just to, try and get our money back as quick as possible to keep things going. He's like, but I've got like 2 cases. He's like, that's nothing. Yeah, I'm getting them at £85 a box from Distro. He's like, it's cost me nothing, so I might as well just hold it.
Money. Yeah.
And I'm sat there going, we're in a situation now where not everybody, but because we've seen those cases on eBay, and I remember you mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago where a lot of people were like, we don't have any, they did like an Instagram post, and like, we don't have any Destined Rivals.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, the next post is
small
like,
restock incoming, but then we got 4 sealed cases for sale.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I'm just there like, if these stores are genuinely, and it's not even like if, they literally are holding on to it, it's creating false scarcity. And you may be like, oh, yeah, but it's only a case. But we know how many, like, people have distro access, which, let's be honest, probably shouldn't have distro access, but they do. And let's say every single one got at least 1 case. If you had even just 100 people put a case, like 600 boxes on eBay, that price will go down. Especially here in the UK.
Oh, 100%.
Right, we would see a huge drop because everyone would be undercutting everybody. And it'll be a race to the bottom, right? Everyone would be, I wouldn't say it would fall like crazy, but you would see a good, maybe 20% or more price 100%. Drop. So,
it'd be wild.
But we haven't seen that.
I mean, if you think that the price dropped from being 300 and something pound a box to 260 just in the mention of a reprint, and there being a few boxes available, I got really lucky. Someone sent me a link to buy boxes at retail. So I snagged myself 2 boxes and they're sitting on my shelf. And I was kind of and ahhing whether or not I'd take them to cut like LCS and sell one of them. But I think if the stores are all just keeping their cases sold, then they're right. The price is just going to go up. Like, why would I sell the ones I picked up at retail? I think at the moment, if you can buy it at retail, you might as well just buy it to hold it. There's no point in reselling it for a small profit.
No.
But the wild part is that I went to my local stationery shop and they had a couple of half booster boxes on the shelf, like opened ones with just loose boosters in. And I said to them, "Oh, I don't suppose you've got any for sale, do you?" And they were like, "Oh, we've got a case of half boxes, but they're going to our other store in Reading."
Right.
And I was like, "Well, can you sell me 1 box? Is that okay?" So they called their like the owner or something, and they okayed it. I buy quite a lot from them, so it's like they were fine selling me a half box. And I said to him, I was like, "Look, if you ever get access just to a sealed case of booster boxes, full boxes, call me, I'll take it. Just name the price, I'll take it. Fine. You can make your whatever percent you need to make on it for it to be worthwhile. You just selling it to me." Because they generally don't price them at RRP. They'll price it somewhere in between that and market. So, I mean, realistically, if they turn around to me and said, "Oh, give us just over $1,000 or something for the case," I would probably just buy it, just sit on it as well. I wouldn't mind having a sealed case of this one. But there aren't too many other sets in Scarlet and Violet I think I would be happy sitting on a case of. But then you also don't know how much more they're going to print. And there's only going to be so much that the people with distro access are going to want to hold of the set. Like you said, some people got 3, other people got 1. Everyone just seems to be holding it, opened a bit of it, holding a reasonable chunk of it. But then if in 5 months they get offered another 5 cases each, then what are they going to do? Now they've actually got an actual decision point to make. Are we going to keep the cases sealed, or are we going to split them open, take a bit of profit from it, sell them at retail, sell them at somewhere in between that and market, or even just straight up market, depending on where it ends up? It's impossible to tell where something's going to go. So I don't really want to pay too much. I definitely don't want to pay the market price at the moment on them, which is, I think, around $280 a box sealed for a case, which I think is a little bit too much.
I think so. It's kind of weird because we were saying before we started recording is if they're going to start going down the route of what we would call big box retailers here in the UK, it'd be like supermarkets, Smiths, stuff like that. They don't sell by the booster box. Like that store, they would crack it open, they would sell the packs individually, they might limit it, whatever it may be. So then it's getting to the point where, yes, we are getting more Deaths and Rivals and more packs being open and more people getting hold of it, but specifically the product of a sealed booster box becomes more of a rarity because the places where it would get sent to where they would normally sell it as a booster box rather than individual packs are holding it. They're not going, you know what, we're not stocking it. And it's going to be a weird one because unless we're going to start seeing some more, not necessarily a big box retail, but like one of the big online stores, like a Magic Madhouse, Chaos Cards, stuff like that, where they do get a lot of distro. Well, I mean, probably Magic Madhouse gets an absolute crap ton, but they get a lot of distro and then they go, well, they sell at kind of market-ish most of the time. So it's like, if they start listing it up at a slightly lower price, then you might start to see it dip a little bit. But retail, I honestly think that you will, unless you find, like you say, the odd shop that may have it, to go on the open market and to pick up a Deaths and Rivals booster box at MSRP, I don't think you'll see it happen. I really don't. Because if it's nearly £300 a box already, and it's been out like 3 months, and it's like, okay, how high will it go by the end of the year? Let's say we don't see any more. It's going to be like £400 plus. We mentioned it before. It's going to be really expensive. For it to retract all the way back down to like 150, 155.
It's not going to happen.
No, unless what we mentioned like before we recorded was, and this is what we both believe should happen, is Pokemon stock it themselves.
Yeah, if they just release a ton of it onto the Pokemon Center website, you can order one box at a time. Maybe they do a drop every day. Or even better, lottery. Just have a lottery system.
Yeah.
Like they've done for the Japanese exclusives. Just do a lottery system. You've got to have your phone number in there. You've got to have your address. Maybe you've also had to have already purchased something from the Pokemon website. So you've got to have like all of these things in place to make your account legitimate. And then you can buy 2 boxes. Maybe then limited to where you can only do it once a week, but we're going to do daily drops. I don't know. There are definitely ways around of getting the product into people's hands that wouldn't be too much extra work for them. But ultimately, they know they're going to sell it. They know they're going to get a cut. And they don't seem to particularly care. The only reason it seems that they're doing it in America, where they're bulk selling it to like Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart, I think it's under the guise of getting product to people. But it wouldn't be surprising if it's just a case of it simplifies distribution for them.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. They send a lorry to a Sam's Club warehouse, and then it's up to them to distribute it to their stores. Another lorry goes to Costco. Another lorry goes to Walmart. Rather than there being, I don't know how many distributors they have in America, but I would assume there's probably 1 per state, maybe more, that they're shipping to currently. So that is a lot for them to handle on their end, if it's going to be multiple pallets for delivery and everything to all of these distributors across the country, rather than just boom, like we'll just drop it off at one centralized distribution location, and then we'll let them deal with how they want to allocate it amongst their own stores. But that sort of thing just wouldn't work in the UK, because we've pretty much already only got one distributor, and that's Asmodee.
I'm not sure how that would work regarding, like, obviously, does it go to them, and then do they then give it to like the supermarkets? They then supply it to Smiths and so on and so forth, or is it done
Yeah,
I don't know.
No idea
Like, do you know
how
what I mean?
works
Like,
in the
does
UK.
it go to Asmodee and then go to Amazon? Like, if Amazon wants to stock it,
See, because
I don't really know.
that's the thing that confuses me, right? Because there are other distributors for Pokemon in the UK, but it's my understanding that it all just comes from Asmodee, and they're the only official Pokemon distributor for the UK. I might be wrong, because there are definitely other distributors that sell wholesale.
But they don't
But
have any stock at all.
But if you contact Pokemon Center and ask them who the UK distributor is, they just say we have one UK distributor and that is Asmodee.
It says it on their website.
Well,
If you search it, it just has them. Yeah.
Which I just found out is like just down the road from me. So I'm going to go storm their warehouse, steal a bunch of cases, and everything will be great.
Okay, yeah. I just see all this giant shopping trolley, like with all these decimals.
Yeah, if you see me rock up to a card show and I'm selling cases of Destin Rivals, then you know I've been up to something dodgy.
Yeah, literally. Just that is.
I'll be selling them at retail, so I mean, people will be happy with it. I'll be like regular like modern day Robin Hood there.
Could you imagine? No. Even better. You just flood the market £100 boxes like it used to be.
£100 box, that'd be wild. No, they would get instantly scooped up. That would be the problem.
It would get instantly scooped up, even if you did a retail. But what I'm saying is could you imagine if you just absolutely? I mean, I don't know how much you could fit in this basket. This basket is going to be absolutely monstrous, right? But I mean, to even make a dent. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're in a I would call it a bit of a pickle where people just not selling it. They you know, and I can understand individuals that may hold, you know, that they do go the sealed investment route, right? They might have a booster box. They might have maybe up to a case, right? The average person probably doesn't have cases upon cases of booster boxes. A lot of people that I know have the odd boxes here and there, the odd ETB or collection box or whatever it is here and there, and that's what they like, right? And that's what they're able to afford. That's what they have. That's maybe what they can store as well, right? Whereas when you're having stores that are just, or even not just specifically a store, but someone who has distro access, who's just sat on a case of Destin Rivals or multiple cases of Destin Rivals.
It's upsetting, is what it is.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, it's frustrating as well, because I feel bad for people who just can't enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Like, can't crack it open, can't have fun, collect it, whatever. Right? I think it's good that you can get retail in places like Smith's and stuff like that, but it's just a shame when places don't have limits and you get people, I mean, maybe not so much here, but you see in the US and it's just people just going in there and they just supermarket sweep the place and just literally just might as well just get a trolley and just chuck it all in, and you're there and the kids are like, I can't even get a pack, you know. It's like, what are you doing with your life?
Making mad money.
It's just, yeah. I think the solution right now is, Pokemon should do it direct. I think that would help a lot. Don't tell people when it gets restocked. Just list it, right? I also think I did see someone the other day mention, which I do think is a part to play, is especially the last like 12 months, is these bots. And I don't mean bots as in going in and buying all the product. Is places on like Discord groups and botting Discords and stuff like that, which ping when a website lists something. In the past, Pokemon Center would list something, and you might get someone in a Facebook group going, by the way, guys, they've restocked this. And that was word of mouth, right? It was like, oh, okay, cheers. And that was it. Now you've got thousands and tens of thousands of people that are in these Discord groups. They get pinged of what it is, and they go, oh, yeah, cool, sweet, boom. And they just flood it. And then what ends up happening is the site absolutely loses it. People think there's like bots that's buying it up, and it's not. It's bots that tell you, and it's people that are coming in and buying it all up really quickly because they've all just piled into this poor website. You know, so it's harder and harder for them to release these products or restock these products without everybody and their mum knowing.
Well, because we had Fusion Strike drop this week, and then that's it. I was in the queue because
I didn't even know that.
We got Fusion Strike booster packs dropped.
Oh, packs. Okay. I thought you were going to say they pulled back. Boxes. I was like,
they drop boxes when it's like £500 a box. Imagine the sheer chaos that would cause in the market if they were just like, Oh yeah, so we found a pallet of Fusion Strike boxes in the back of the warehouse. So have fun, kids.
Well,
It's effectively what they did with ballistas, right?
this is the thing that I always think, and it is in the past. I would say, and even so now, it does to some extent apply to other TCGs like Magic. But let's say they restock, reprint it. It doesn't matter whichever way you call it, but more product hits the market. And then between reprint and restock, ultimately it doesn't really matter. It just still means there's just more of it, right?
Is your average person that invests in sealed product, because that's probably where a lot of the sealed product ends up going.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Like absolutely. Especially if it gets older, right? The older it gets, more and more people are holding on to it because they know that it will go up over time. But the thing is even if you get a huge reprint, right? And everyone's like, oh yeah, but it'll do this and it'll do that. If a set is strong, it will survive, right? And it will thrive. Crown Zenith is a prime example. Absolutely obliterated in printing.
Depends on the level of reprint.
Yeah, of course, but still got heavily reprinted. Evolving Skies got heavily reprinted, more so than any Scarlet and Violet era set. Then you also have 151. I mean, I didn't see a huge amount of, well, it still is technically getting printed in booster bundles and Blooming Waters.
Printed a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so it's doing very, very well. And there was a crap ton of it when it came out. Celebrations, insanely printed. It was everywhere. Nobody cared. And look what happened to it. It's quite interesting because I actually did a video about not supposed about Fusion Strike, but there's a video coming out next week. And I talk about like going for the last 5 years and looking at what we can learn and what trends happened. And one thing I want to take from that is Fusion Strike. We talked about Fusion Strike, right? I did a video back in 2021, 2022, I think it was, beginning 2022, and I called it the Forgotten Set because no one cared, right? And I mentioned that I think Fusion Strike will be printed far less than any of the other sets that came out around it, before and after. Reason being, because no one was buying it. So why would Pokemon print more of a set that doesn't sell, right? Evolving Skies had tons of reprint. Everybody wanted that, right? And the same happened for Brilliant Stars. And like Fusion Strike came out at a really awkward time because you had Evolving Skies in the summer, then you had Celebrations, and then it was Fusion Strike, and then everyone was all about Brilliant Stars. They're like, it's the Charizard set. We've got Trainer Galleries. Everyone's losing their minds. They're like, Fusion Strike, the pull rates suck. All right, it's got a cool Gengar, it's got a cool Eevee. Who gives a crap, right? And that's basically what happened. Everyone's like, I'm still buying Evolving Skies, I'm still buying Celebrations because there's a ton of it around. Fusion Strike's £80 a box. I don't want to buy this. This set's trash, right? Now look at it. It's like 800. I looked at it today and it was like £700. I think stupid or more.
Oh really?
£800.
Oh, I didn't realize it gone up that much.
Yeah. I was well, maybe 600-700. It was an insane amount. And I'm sitting there going like, no one cared, right? No one cared. But a lot of these sets, they got printed loads.
The main problem I have with like Destined Rivals ever getting to that sort of price point is there are too many people holding it sealed.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It hasn't been printed nowhere near as much as other stuff. A lot of people hold on to it, even when restocks come in.
There's a lot of people holding on to all of Scarlet and Violet because they see what's happened with Sword and Shield boxes and they're thinking, that's it. This is how I make money. I'm just going to keep my boxes. So it's going to be very interesting to see how quickly Scarlet and Violet will go up in price. I think I might start tracking it.
Yeah.
When the new sets come out, I think I'm going to go and take a price of every Scarlet and Violet box as it is from that day, and I'm going to track them monthly just to see where they're going, because I think they'll be quite interesting to actually what's going on, and then I might even I might go super nerdy on it.
Oh,
I might also track the amount listed of the boxes.
What on eBay?
That might be going too far. Yeah. Because it's ultimately down to supply and demand, right? If one day, say, Surging Sparks pops up to £400 a box, and then you've got Joe Blogs that's got 7 cases of it, floods the market with 7 cases, like, what's that actually going to do to the price of it? Is it going to bolster the price and it's going to go up even more because there's more sales of it? Yeah. Or is it going to drop the price enough that people just start fire selling it, thinking, I'm just going to take the profit that I've got now? But I guess that's just never going to happen, is it? Because everyone knows sealed always goes up. That's what I'm trying to get my head around. Like, what amount of reprint will actually kill Destined Rivals as a sealed investment? And I can't put my finger on it. I don't think there is. No. Even if they print it into Oblivion, still got great artwork.
Everything,
yeah, fine. It might not be £1,000 in 3 years, but 7 years, it's still going to be worth a reasonable return year by year.
Yeah, we're currently in the biggest boom the Pokemon's ever had in this time frame, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I'd say, Crown Zenith, right, £180 an ETB. A year ago, it was like 50 quid.
Oh yeah, if you said to someone a year ago that it was going to be £180 an ETB, like, no they would have laughed at you.
Yeah, I mean, no way.
Yeah, no. I don't think anyone saw any of the most recent gains coming.
Yeah, right. I
definitely didn't see the Evolving Skies one. Otherwise, I would have kept my boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I knew, like, I think a lot of people knew the Evolving Skies was going to do very well anyway, but
just not this quickly.
No, it to be honest is going the same route as Team Up, but the difference between the two sets was Team Up was short printed, whereas Evolving Skies wasn't.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are waiting for like a crash to happen. I don't think it's more of a crash that will happen and everything's just going to start plummeting in price. It's more like, I think you want it to sell. That's what I think what people really want. Is what I mean by settling is people want availability to be there. They don't want a new set coming out and it's over retail. Like, what the hell is this, right? They want to be able to go into a store or go online and just buy product, right? And not have to overpay, well over market. As a rule, booster boxes was always the cheapest way to get packs. The most cost efficient way of getting packs. You buy a booster box for 100, works out at £2.77 a pack. That was, the optimal cheapest way to get stuff. Now it's the most expensive way of getting stuff. It's actually like if you bought Destined Rivals booster boxes and you cracked them open, that's probably one of the most expensive ways of getting hold of those packs right now. Whereas,
it's kind of wild, isn't it?
Whereas collection boxes are, or whatever, or these tins that are coming out later on this year, and all, will be the cheapest way of getting hold of the booster packs. So
it's crazy.
We're in very, very weird times, but yeah, I think solution would be Pokemon need to stock it. Obviously print more and potentially stock it themselves. Like you say, every day.
It wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt. Like, why not? Why not? And I think they should focus on anything that's within the last 2 years. So anything from, which is majority of the Scarlet and Violet. So basically early 2023 to now, which would be Paradox onwards, pretty much, or 151 onwards.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty reasonable. I don't know. I don't see things calming down. Usually things calm down in the summer. We had it 2 summers in a row, like in 2023 and 2024, where things, well, even in 2022, where things started to sell after the pandemic, we started seeing summertime that things got cheaper, less interest in the hobby, and then it started ramping up towards the winter. That hasn't happened this year. In fact, I would say this summer's been booming. So so we're going to be moving up.
Depending which end you're on, I guess.
Yeah, true. I mean, my sealed stuff has been going up through the absolute roof, but it's like, we've got 2 more sets still to come out. This is the most amount of sets that they've released. 7 sets in 1 year.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's an insane amount. And then we're going to carry on with Megas. I don't know how much. Apparently, with Mega Evolutions, it's been released. All the products have been released in 2 separate waves. I don't know how far apart those waves will be, but 60% is in wave 1, 40% in wave 2. That's like the booster boxes, ETBs, and so on. So I don't know if that's going to help.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they've printed enough.
I think that it's going to be a lot easier to get a hold of these mega sets than current sets. That's
hopefully,
for sure.
Hopefully it goes the same route as Journey Together. Came out expensive, dropped down to retail.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, at any point, if something's dropping back down to retail, it's just good for generally everyone involved, apart from people that want to scalp. So generally just good for the hobby, for people that actually care about the hobby, I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
No.
It's going to suck with card prices, I guess, like for singles, because if it's a retail box, there's kind of always going to be a ceiling on the card prices.
having cards that come out at several £100 upon release.
It's ridiculous.
It's stupid. It's just, there
shouldn't be any means for a card that was printed so recently to be like £300 on release or £1,000 in a 10. Like, there needs to be natural growth up to those numbers, otherwise it surely can't sustain through all of the reprints of that set gets.
No.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like Bubble Mew now being whatever it is, over 1k, that makes sense, sure. I said it didn't have booster boxes, specialty set, and it wasn't that price all the time.
No.
It wasn't that expensive when it came out. And it's obviously the best hit in the set, and now it's expensive. That makes sense. I keep on seeing people's flashback posts on like Instagram and stuff from like Sword and Shield stuff when those all came out and they're all cheap cards compared to what we see as the chase cards in current modern sets. And no one wants to leave the cards to have that natural progression to the price highs. And they'll just compare it to, well, if Lugia V Alt Art is, at the time, it was, what, a £500 in a 10. Well, this artwork's better than that, questionably. But in their opinion, the artwork of the card was better than that. So surely this card should be worth more than that one. And now that one's gone up like £900 now. So are you expecting your card to suddenly jump up to that price now as well? I don't know. It's really hard to gauge new cards and how people are. Well, I guess it's not just people; it's how the market's deciding the price. Because obviously,
yeah, and what people are willing to pay.
They'll buy the cheaper ones, and then it's whatever someone's willing to pay. Yeah,
Black Bolt and White Flare. Yeah. Not a lot of interest. Even on Whatnot, I've seen a lot of people. They don't really care. It doesn't really sell. People, trying to flash sale it to shift a load of stock they've managed to get hold of, and no one's picking it up.
Well, the interesting thing is, I spoke to some people who were completely against master setting Black Bolt and White Flare because they're like, it's going to be too complicated. You've got the Pokeballs in the reverse and the Master Balls and the illustration res for every card. It's going to be too much effort, and you just can't get product at the moment. Yeah. And you know what? I got messages from 4 people this week. What Pokeballs have you got? What Master Balls have you got? What illustration res have you got? I'm going to master set them. Yeah. Because there is actual product available at retail. They can walk into a shop, buy tins. They can walk into a shop, buy the Victini collections, the poster collections. It's literally everywhere. So the set went from, I'm not going to bother touching it because it's too much effort, to, well, actually, the artwork's pretty sweet. And
it's fun to open.
Yeah, it's a really fun set to open because it's kind of like got that Crown Zenith feel. You open a pack and you've got a hit. It's kind of rare that you go through, say, the 4 booster packs or whatever you get in the Victini box and you get 0 hits. I think I had 1 in 6 boxes that I opened that had no hits in it, and then all of the other boxes I got like Master Wars IR, SAR, or whatever. Yeah, and it generally feels like a good product to open. So these people are all now moving to collecting it because everyone else has decided it's not worth holding.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly over retail, not maybe 10-15% over retail for packs, which is, I mean, fine. ETB is a little bit more, but apart from that, loose packs, you're looking at $6.50, basically £1 more.
And you got the bundles dropping as well now.
Yeah, so it's not actually
as soon as the
that
bundles
bad.
hit the shelf, like, you might just find that a bunch of places are just going to do the bundles at retail because they've got all of this other product that is sitting on their shelf taking up room. Well, what's the point in selling, like not selling the bundles at retail? You might as well just get them in, get them out, get them to the hands of the people who want them. Yeah. And you know what? If I see some Black Bolt White Flare bundles, maybe I'll keep a couple sealed now. I was planning on not keeping any. But with the increase in people just wanting to crack it to master set it now, I kind of think it may not be the worst hold.
I'm going to pick up some ETBs.
Pretty good cards in it.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up some ETBs. I like the look of the ETBs. And currently they're sat about, between 65 and 70 in ETB, which is fine. I know it's slightly over retail, but again, not by much. So to me, I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I don't mind picking that up. Prismatic is another one where if we do get a level of restock that the US is getting, obviously not the same amount, but like a good restock, then I could potentially look at, picking up some normal Prismatic ETBs. I mean, I've got a crap ton of the Pokemon Center ones because I literally went out my way and bought them all. Went out and got...
You're dead, Scalper. Yeah, we all know, don't worry.
16 of them, or however many I got. But the normal ETBs, yeah, I mean, maybe. Look, I think the takeaway from today is Pokemon should print more. It'd be interesting to see. Obviously, we're not that far away from the next set. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Card show, looking forward to it this weekend. We're going to try and see if we can get maybe a little mini episode in. We'll try.
Depends how busy it is.
Yeah, it depends how busy it is. We can get a camera set up.
To be fair, we might be able to record a little bit before the show even starts.
Yeah, because it starts at 10, doesn't it?
I think VIP's 9.
Okay.
I don't know what time you're getting in.
I'm aiming to get there.
I'll be there for 7:30.
Okay, I'm hoping to get there before 9. Depending on traffic.
Okay, no, that's fine. But I mean, VIP hour is generally quite quiet. I normally take the VIP hour to go go walk around.
Yeah, so we can
see if there's any bargains or anything like that.
Episode.
So we can do like a walk around.
Yeah,
chat or something like that. Yeah,
we could do something like that. Yeah, we'll do something for you guys. But next week's episode, when we sit down, we'll probably talk about our experience in the card show, and how do we get on, so you guys can get an idea of that. And hopefully at the card show, we'll meet some other creators and we'll ask them for a little session. Will be pretty good as well. So any final thoughts, any final messages before we sign off?
No, nothing outside the ordinary. Obviously, like I always say, just be careful what you're buying. But I think there's still movement in Sword and Shield. There's still money to be made in the alt arts.
Yeah.
So, but obviously Scarlet and Violet's probably a good place to park your money at the moment.
Buy what you like. Singles. That's why I say to people, I feel like you can't go wrong if you buy what you like. It doesn't matter if it goes up, it doesn't matter if it goes down. If you like it...
If it tanks and you're happy about holding it, then it doesn't matter what it is.
If there's a card you like,
that's why I've got...
put it in your collection, you know what I mean?
One of my peaches.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these could literally worth nothing, and I would still keep them.
That's what I mean. I love my lower Ninetales collection. A lot of them are really poorly graded. I don't care. I might upgrade them in the future to the nice ace labels and things like that. But it's cool. It's like a little bit of a sentimental thing. So we'll leave it there for today's episode. Make sure to subscribe, of course, for more podcasts. We would keep these up every week. Like I said, we'll do a little mini episode. We'll do one next week. We'll try to do some more lives. We had a weird audio issue last time with the VOD, not with the live. So we have to see how it goes. And we will be getting guests as well. So we'll see who we can meet at the card show, and we will go from there. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with us for this one. We will catch you all in the next episode. Peace.
Yep. See you later.